Where were we, Robin? You were talking about Kathy Lee Gifford.
Right, I had finished with her.
You certainly did. Her ears were burning.
I figure I'll let her rest now.
Yes.
President Bush is going to Florida today to view the hurricane devastation once again and to see how the relief efforts are going, Howard. And from what I understand, there should be a lot to see. They say that this will be President Bush's opportunity to show that he's a strong national leader and can really, pull out the stops when it comes to taking care of domestic problems.
Well, maybe if we're lucky, a building will collapse on him. I'm going to tell you something with this guy. First of all, it doesn't impress me that he's going to Florida. I'll tell you why. He doesn't really need to go to Florida. We know that this is...
It's a political thing.
It's a political thing. He has advisors who go to these areas and advise him on what to do.
Did he go to Saudi Arabia?
No.
A little hot over there.
Yeah, right. So the point is, look, this is an election thing, and so he looks good in front of the cameras.
Like he's doing something.
Like he's doing something. But he's going to do the same thing he would have done before. And I'll tell you something. I hope when he's there, he takes a good look at what's living there in that Florida. All I know is what I'm seeing on TV is depressing me.
Well, it's interesting because now I'm reading some of the accounts of what's going on there. I was looking in USA Today. Many, many Floridians have turned into vigilantes, according to the police.
Right.
They're sitting in their rubble
right.
with guns.
That's right.
Drawing them on anyone who comes near
That's
they don't recognize because they are afraid of being looted.
There are so many animals that live in Florida. I see them on TV. I see them. I don't know where they're from. I don't know what got them in this condition. But they look like third world countries. They're running around with hardly any clothes on, looting. Like naked people running around, looting. The nicest people in Florida are these alligators that run around. So these poor upstanding people who have been hurt by the hurricane, there are a couple there. You got to sit there with guns and guard against...
Yeah, they're afraid to leave. They built these tent cities as shelters.
Right.
Well, they don't want to leave their dilapidated homes.
Right.
Because they'll find a thing when they come back.
Because the animals who prey on disaster are out there. And I hope President Bush takes a good look at that, because if he is reelected, he has got to do something about the immigration into this country.
One guy said he had to pull a .357 Magnum on a guy just hours after the hurricane.
Yeah.
As soon as the winds died down a little bit, they were out, ready to grab anything they could get their hands on.
Like cockroaches.
So now they've built this tent city, but they still won't have electricity and water or something until later today.
Yeah, well, some people will be out of their homes, they're predicting, as much as 6 months to a year. But you see them on the news. Some of these people are like they look like they should be living in, where, Robin? Zimbabwe. They're running around with no clothes on. They're almost nude.
The houses are better off in Sarajevo where they're bombing.
Yeah. Yeah, they at least have a shell left. There's more law and order in Sarajevo, whatever it is. There's more law and order left there than there is in Florida.
Well, I don't know. It's a pretty bad scene down there.
We got people we got Sally Struthers doing commercials for the people in Florida.
Yeah, it used to be that those commercials were always for people outside of our country. But we have a Save the Children Federation for this country now.
Yeah.
You can send money, 16, I don't know how it could be 16 cents a day to keep them alive here.
Now doom has set into the United States of America. You never used to see that.
No, but 16 cents a day.
It doesn't even look like a state in this country. It looks like a tribal ritual. One of those Margaret Mead safari documentaries. I saw a woman on TV, I swear to God, I wish I had a tape running. I would have brought it in. It was what's the matter with the police? They don't give us nothing. Nobody help us. No government officials help us. I said, what? She's screaming for government. What government officials? Oh, is it the United States government she's looking for, or a different government?
Down, lady.
I mean, what do you want me to do? I tell you, they ought to do a National Geographic special right there in Dade County. Man, you start seeing what America's really all about. It makes you sick.
Would you really want to be president of this country, Howard?
I told you I'll accept it if I'm elected. But I do it reluctantly.
Did you hear about the white supremacist who was waging war?
Fred Norris.
Against some federal agents?
Yes.
He was wanted for some kind of a gun charge. He had sold some guns to undercover agents.
Right.
And he thought he was selling them to the Aryan nation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he got caught. And he was supposed to show up in court, didn't. So the feds went looking for him in Idaho, where he had some kind of retreat built. And he had a friend there and his wife and several kids. And somehow or other, you know, he was surrounded. He refused to come out. And some gunfire occurred on 2 separate occasions, killing his wife and son. And also a federal marshal was killed somehow.
Mm-hmm.
They think by another guy who surrendered the other day. But anyway, this guy was holed up in this house for 11 days with his dead wife's body just lying there. So he finally screamed his wife's name yesterday, and then screamed his son's name, and then walked down the mountain and gave himself over to the federal agents without firing a shot. They had gotten in touch with his old Army Special Forces Lieutenant Colonel.
Lieutenant Colonel Jenks?
No, James Bogritz.
Yes, James Bogritz, yes. Jackie served under him during NAM.
It sort of reminded me of Rambo. You know how they always used to get Richard Crenna to come talk Rambo out of the hill?
Get Rambo in line.
Because even though this guy never went to Vietnam, he was in the Marine Special Forces or something.
Right.
And this guy was his commanding officer, and they, I guess, had maintained some kind of relationship during those years. So he was brought in, and for 4 days he's been negotiating with this guy, and he finally went in there and got the guy to walk down the mountain, saving the lives of his 3 daughters who were still inside.
I got you.
So now he'll be in even more trouble. But anyway, the guy apparently didn't want to come out until September 9th.
MTV Awards.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's probably it. He wants to see me as Fart Man.
He said it had something to do with the New World Order, George Bush, and biblical numbers.
Yes, I'm into that myself. That's 666.
He apparently belongs to some group with called the Christian Identity.
Yeah, I'm in that.
Which holds that Europeans are the lost tribe of Israel.
That's correct.
And that blacks are subhuman.
Well, that's on my group.
And Jews are satanic.
Well, I don't have evidence that they're not. Actually, he was waiting for Manhattan Cable to show up. That's why he didn't want to leave. He had his
and he
appointment.
got very upset.
You know what Manhattan Cable does? I never told you this.
What?
Remember when they had to do a filing to maintain that they could keep their franchise?
Mm-hmm.
They said one of the things they agreed to is that the phone could not ring for more than 4 times, and they had to pick up.
Right.
And that's what they do now. They pick up, they give you a recorded message after 4 rings, and then they keep you on hold for 27 minutes.
I had to call. I'm trying to think how many times I had to call when they were adding the extra stations, and you had to add $1 to your bill if you wanted them. They gave you a number to call. It must have taken me 2 weeks.
A month.
To get them on the phone, calling several times every day.
It's another example of a man's inhumanity to man.
Is it?
Yep, you bet. Because those guys make a lot of money with that Manhattan Cable. Believe me.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
You would like to own that, I'm sure.
It's amazing.
Imagine people sending you a check every month for what? For Get TV? To Get TV, you get a check. I would love that. Now that's a business I could run.
China is supposed to be our friend.
China?
And they were, I've seen this campaign going on for the last several weeks to try to change the American impression of China.
China is our friend. That's where Woody Allen gets his dates.
Well, you behave. Woody Allen likes China.
He's a big fan of China. Oh.
No, but there's been this campaign afoot to give us the impression that since they, shot up their kids who were demonstrating and protesting a couple of years ago, China has changed. The leadership has changed, and everybody's okay again, and that we really can do business with them. But now, according to an article in the New York Times today, pro-democracy campaigners who are imprisoned in the northeast of China have smuggled out a letter in which they charge that they are often beaten, shocked with electric cattle prods, and forced to work 12 or more hours a day making matchboxes.
See, Gary, you don't have it so bad. Hey, let me tell you something, Robin. I happen to agree that the Chinese government, we should not be doing any business with the Chinese government. They are the worst of the worst when it comes to how they treat their own people. And we should make a statement. If I was president, I have no negotiations with the Chinese in terms of trade agreements.
That's your position on China.
Bet your sweet ass. Come here with that sweet ass.
There's a 30-year-old physicist who...
It's the worst country, Robin. Don't you ever go visit that country.
I think I'm going to China
It's
now.
a horrible country. You know what they make their people do?
What?
They make them eat with these little sticks.
Wait
till you see
I
this.
thought you were going to talk about the drowning of babies.
That too. But they have to eat with sticks. Now, have you ever tried to pick up, like, rice with sticks? Have you ever tried it?
Yes, I have.
It's so
not
hard.
Easy.
No.
Not
That's
easy
why they're
at
so
all.
skinny.
That's right. It's a weight loss thing.
And their people, instead of writing, they're forced to draw little pictures
Yeah.
that are words. In other words,
Everybody's got to be an artist.
you've got to be able to draw pictures in order to communicate in a written word. Which is the stupidest writing on the planet.
The letter asserts that this 30-year-old physicist who campaigned since the mid-1980s for a free press
Yes.
and is serving the fourth year of a 6-year prison term
Right.
is kept in 20-pound leg irons and repeatedly tortured with an electric prod on his genitals.
Wait, say that again? Fred. Genitals.
He is also said to have been forced to sit motionless on a bench from 8 a.m. until 9 p.m. each day.
Hey, that's how we get Scott to do work.
During which his legs swell, Howard.
He'll ever see Scott's leg? Scott the engineer know how to get him to do a bit. We chain him up to a fence.
Oh,
Let
goodness.
his legs swell.
So they're still up to their shenanigans over there. I don't care what anybody says about how they've changed.
And then they have slanty eyes, those people in China.
No, that's no reason to hold anything.
No, I'm saying that's what makes it, the rice went through slanty eyes makes it look like filet mignon. No, I would not do any business with the Chinese government.
Yeah.
I would until they relax. What they're doing to their people is wrong. Wrong. You got to take a stand at some point.
Minister Louis Farrakhan has made the news again.
Just call him Louis Farrakhan. There's no way that guy's a minister. When he goes around bad-mouthing,
Well, I mean, depends on what your beliefs are.
he's not a religious man. He's not. He takes one religion and knocks it over another.
Mm-hmm. Lots of religions do that, though.
Yeah, but he shouldn't do that. I don't call him Minister Farrakhan. You know what I call him?
What?
Sinister Farrakhan.
Okay. Sinister Farrakhan.
So you had to call him Sinister Farrakhan, Robin.
Sinister Farrakhan, Howard, says blacks should have a mind to kill. And has predicted a racial bloodbath unless they are able to secure a new economic base.
There is an economic base. It's very simple. Go out and get a job. And if you can't get a job, create jobs in your own community. Who's holding you back? Who's preventing you?
Speaking to a wildly cheering crowd of 2,000 at the Des Moines Convention Center in Iowa on Sunday,
He's such a skunk, this Sinister Farrakhan.
he said that rapper Ice-T's controversial song Cop Killer conveys a growing sentiment among black people.
Yeah, that's good. All the black kids should grow up and kill all the cops because the cops should understand them.
He says, I tell you, black people, we should not only have a heart to die, we should have a mind to kill.
Yeah, Captain Bowtie to the rescue.
If you want to kill us, then we'll kill you.
Good. That'll help a lot of black kids.
And then we will sit down and talk. Sooner or later, if we get no justice in your court system, then we will take justice.
Good. That's good. This is called free enterprise. You get up and you do whatever. You do your own thing, Sinister.
Well, listen to this. He has an economic plan he's
Let's hear it.
purporting. It's based on buying up farmland in Iowa.
So do it.
He also said black prison inmates reformed by the faith of Islam should be sent to Africa to start a new country there.
He acts like it's easy to go buy land in Iowa.
And where are you going to put a country in Africa? Like, people over there want to give up their land.
Oh, and wait till the Africans get a load of our American blacks.
Oh, boy.
Wait till you check that out. The Africans, they'll do a Zulu dance right into the river. They'll take their spears and throw it right in their heads. You want to see killing. You should see what goes on in these African nations. Everybody's killing each other, and that's the end of that. Listen, there's nothing preventing Minister Farrakhan and his followers from buying land in Iowa. Just go buy it. And stop yapping about it. Get a job and buy some land and get the hell out of New York.
These remarks apparently met with approval from U.S. Senate candidate the Reverend Al Sharpton.
Another anti-Semite. You know, we like Sharpton. He's a buffoon and he's fun to listen to. And when he calls in, we always have a good time with him. But you can't forget what he has said.
He said from his Brooklyn headquarters that Farrakhan was expressing the sentiments of a lot of people that have seen too many atrocities like police brutality go unanswered. He is saying that either things turn around or people are ready to make desperate moves to turn them around. He said, I don't consider that a threat as much as an appraisal of how he sees the situation. Clearly, one cannot blame the weatherman for the rain.
Oh, you can't?
Mayor Dinkins declined commenting on Farrakhan's speech yesterday. He said he was not aware. He had no first-hand knowledge of exact statements, so he would not respond.
This is why our mayor sucks. This is a guy, he just screams, I have no first-hand knowledge of any statements. He never comes out against anybody who is an anti-Semite or a racist or makes stupid comments. He just sits around and he sits there and he twiddles his thumbs. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm sick of it.
At the Rainbow Coalition offices in Washington, D.C., a spokesman for Reverend Jesse Jackson did not respond.
Jesse Jackson is the biggest creep of all, and I'll tell you why. This Jesse Jackson is a big wise guy. Right before the Democratic Convention, you know what he does? He goes up and, this is Mr. Hineytown. He goes up in front of a Jewish group. I forget which group, Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Goes up in front of a Jewish group. He goes, I love you Jews. You're the greatest. I said, what a load of crap this is. If he wants to come out and say he loves the Jews, what's he going to Jews for? Why don't he go to his brothers?
Yeah.
Why don't he go to a black group and tell them to love Jews? Now, that he don't do. Don't sit and kiss my ass, you big dope. And Minister Farrakhan with his plan. Let all the black guys go to Iowa and grow corn, and they can feed it to Al Sharpton. So it'll explode.
Yeah, there's the market.
Yeah, you got a built-in industry right there.
Vice President Dan Quayle is taking a few shots at the people who do the Emmy Awards.
This guy's a nut.
Seemed to be open season on Dan Quayle on Sunday.
I think this Dan Quayle's insane.
He now says that the Emmy people were lying. They claim that he attacked single mothers. He says he never did that.
I don't care what he did. This guy better get it together and start talking about something that sounds presidential or vice presidential. With the Murphy Brown. Murphy Brown could kiss my ass. That's a TV show. This guy better get on the ball. Better get in touch with the American people. 70% of the American people want abortions. Get us abortions. Stop the nonsense already. Boy, that guy Specter up in Philadelphia there, in Pennsylvania, rather. Boy, he's getting his comeuppance.
Well, I don't know. Is he really?
Oh, yeah, he's going to lose the election.
I just saw that he was endorsed by a couple of teacher organizations.
Those are the Retarded Teachers Association, RTA. Any self-respecting woman that votes for Arlen Specter.
They said they resented what he did with Anita Hill, but they were going to endorse him anyway.
Man is a horror scene. The way he treated women, you girls ought to go back to wearing bonds on your feet. Wrap them up in bandages. We could break your feet and keep you in bondage. Are you girls nuts? If I see Arlen Specter win in Pennsylvania, you know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to treat you women like dogs.
Oh.
Because that's what you think of yourselves.
Is that a little better than you've been treating us lately?
I treat women with a lot of respect.
Roseanne Barr's brother says she...
And Dan Quayle, has anyone told him about the hurricane? Let him get down there and feed some people. That dope. With that Murphy Brown routine. Who cares already? Murphy Brown.
Look, it keeps him out of trouble.
She's a stiff, that Murphy Brown. I hate her. I can't stand Murphy Brown. I want to throw up when I see her.
Roseanne Barr's brother says that she abused him as a child.
Oh, I believe him.
His name is Ben Barr.
You take a look at Roseanne. You tell me who's abusing who. You tell me who you're going to get to abuse Roseanne Barr.
He says that she beat him
and ate 3 of his fingers
when he was a youngster, and that he wishes that she would get on with her life and leave his family alone.
Of course.
When my mother would leave, she would beat me, Barr told the Salt Lake Tribune. She would beat my legs, beat me on the genitals, beat my head.
Like a bongo. Robin, beat my genitals.
Oh, will you behave?
Come on. Don't you want
you know that hurt you? You don't want me to hurt you.
Yes, I do.
Gaspar is 31, 8 years younger than Roseanne. Says he was too young to remember whether the parents actually sexually abused her the way she claims.
He's 31, but he looks like 50 years younger than her. Because she looks like an old woman. She's so fat and bloated. I hate her. I can't stand her. I don't know how America watches that show.
Ben says,
I never watched it. What do you think of that?
if there is a perpetrator in our family, it's Rose.
Who's Rose?
He said, in his opinion, Roseanne.
Oh, he calls her Rose.
Yeah. In my opinion, a perpetrator is someone who continues to violate trust, breaks boundaries, and hurts other people.
Well, I tend to believe him.
You'd believe anybody who says something.
Anyone but her, I believe.
Also in the news is the U.S. Open. Got underway yesterday very quietly.
I was just thinking about that name, Rose.
What?
Maybe they call her that because she spends all her time in the supermarket rows. Like it's not R-O-S-E, it's R-O-W-S.
R-O-W-S, I see.
Rose. Roseanne. Supermarket Roseanne. Yeah, the U.S. Open started. It is the early rounds, Robin.
Right. Not a lot of action yesterday. Monica Seles, she played, and Steffi Graf. They both won very easily. Monica didn't make a lot of noise.
Seles.
All right.
Yeah. You call her Shelish.
Seles is what I call her.
Seles.
She says, but people should give her a break. She's not the only one that makes noise. Why do they single her out? What difference does it make if she makes noise?
I have a tape of the noise that she makes when she plays.
What is it?
Let me play it for you. There it is.
Well, I can see why people are offended.
I bet you she's quiet as a mouse in bed. A lot of women are like that.
Today, things get a little bit more exciting. Pete Sampras.
Oh, I saw him on a plane.
Yeah, you never told me that story.
I sat a row behind him.
And your wife got up and talked to him?
We walked into the airport, and I looked in front of me. I said, hey, there's the guy from those movies. What's his name?
What movies?
You know who I think he looks like? Robbie Benson.
Robbie Benson.
And I said, wait a minute, that's not Robbie Benson. That's the tennis player, Pete Sampras. So I said, I'm not going to say anything, Keep my mouth shut. I don't even know that it's him.
Now, he was sitting in front of you?
Yeah, we were walking. I saw him walking to the airport. We went through the metal detectors and everything, and then he, of course, went right to, he was going to New York from Florida. I guess he spends time at that Bollettieri tennis camp down in Sarasota, so we were both taking the same flight. So, like, he sits down, and it's him, and he's got this dude that travels with him, like a French dude, who's, like, real annoying. And then there's this girl, and I mean, I'm aroused right now just thinking about her.
Oh, dear.
Like, stick straight brown hair, gorgeous body model, had to be early 20s. Like, dressed down for the airplane flight, but even dressed down, you just want to...
You can't dress her down.
You just want to take her panties off and make love to her. And you want to take her panties off yourself. You don't want her taking them off.
Oh, you're terrible.
But if she has to take them off, fine. You'll agree to that, too. I mean, just so cute, right? So I sit down, I do my usual move. I don't even look at the stupid idiot. I just sit there, I'm reading my paper, reading the Times.
Yeah.
Trying to look intellectual to the girl.
Howard Stern reading the Times.
Yeah, meanwhile, it's upside down. I mean, I don't even know what I'm doing. So, I go to my wife, you know who that is? She goes, who? I go, that's Pete Sampras. Pete Sampras! Oh, top of her lungs. Yeah, right.
Oh, no.
And meanwhile, I sat down in a chair while we were waiting for the plane so he could have full view of me and the girlfriend could have full view of me. I know he knows who I am. I know people know who I am. These guys all act like they don't know who I am. It really pisses me off.
How come everybody acts like they don't know you?
Because they're just dicks. I said, let's see if this guy comes over, right? So my wife goes, I'm going to go over and say something. I said, don't you dare. Don't say anything. I just want to wish him luck in the U.S. Open. I go, no, don't. I'm playing cool here. She goes, I don't care what you're doing. I'm going to say hello to the guy.
Got her own agenda.
So anyway, we get on the plane and everything. I'm there with the kids, and Sampras every minute is like turning around to look at me and see what I'm doing. And the girlfriend keeps turning around to talk to the French guy. Meanwhile, she's looking me over. She knows something's going on here. Believe me, she wanted to talk to me, and so did he. And he sees me walk in. He doesn't even say anything to me. He's looking at me, but he can't say anything. He's being a dick. He's being a hard-on is what he's being. So I'm just sitting back, and then my wife has to go up. I see her go up there. Like she's going to the can. And then she walks up to Sampras and goes, "Good luck, and I'm a big fan. I'm pulling for you." I was like so disgusted. She defied me. She defied me.
You're not in control.
No, I'm not.
Over there. I don't know what happened.
And I'm just like, why did she do that? I was playing it so cool. But a lot of people came and asked for my autograph, and I was hoping that I was autographing real loud. Like I go, "What name is that?" I was hoping Sampras would turn around and see me sign an autograph.
Nobody was asking for his?
No. Nobody asked for his.
Oh, good.
Even when we got to the airport, people were screaming out my name. No one was screaming out his stupid name. He sits there and waits for his luggage. I, of course, was escorted into a car. Because I'm too important to be.
Absolutely.
So I leave my wife there to carry all the bags.
You're a terrible human being.
Pregnant woman, 5 months.
What a prize she got.
Hey, man, I got to be protected. I can't have the public bothering me.
You know what I was thinking about the other day?
Yeah.
A long time ago, when we were working at NBC.
Please, don't bring up bad thoughts.
And we were at a company picnic.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you did?
What'd I do?
At the end of the picnic, you drove.
Yeah.
Fred and I went with you.
What'd I do? Yeah, and it was like
Allison and Emily were with us.
Yeah, and the picnic, by the way, was like in the middle of Harlem. They picked a park where it was one white person in the park except for me.
What is Fred?
Fred's barely white. What? What do you want, Gary?
It was in the Bronx on City Island.
Oh my God, NBC was such an unclassed place.
Don't you remember
City Island? Like, I mean, it was like.
Don't you remember they roasted?
It was
a
like
pig?
Africa.
They roasted a pig.
They roasted a pig. Remember?
Yeah, there were people roasting pig. I'm going, is this America we're in?
We were the only English-speaking people.
Yeah,
in
it
the
wasn't a
entire
party.
place.
It was a safari. Nobody even knew where we were.
Every infant had pierced ears already.
I know, yeah. Pierced nose. There were kids with nose rings. It was so bad.
So we're leaving.
Yeah.
And Emily needed to take a rest stop.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't use the public facility, so we were letting her use her potty chair.
Yeah.
In the back of the car.
Yeah, we did it in the trunk.
Right.
I set the potty seat in the trunk.
That's right.
My daughter took a dump in the trunk of the car.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're standing there waiting for her to do her thing.
Yeah.
And someone said, "Hey, Howard."
No, they said, holla.
No, this was another white guy.
Yeah, well, I didn't see him. Yeah.
He said, "Hey, Howard."
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing we knew, Howard leaped into the car.
Of course.
And locked all the doors.
I don't want my public to see me with my kid taking a dump in the trunk.
She was still out there?
Slammed the trunk.
No, my wife was with the kid. Slammed the trunk. I'll tell you something. We went to that stupid place. What is it called? Ellis Island?
No, City Island.
City Island. Did you think like someone was going to come over and like shrink your head? They shrunk Gary's head, but not his teeth.
You know,
his teeth are still the same size.
They sent somebody up to scout that location during the week, and of course it was empty. So they said, "Oh, this would be great." Nobody went to look at it on a weekend.
Yeah, who they send out? Who they send out? A wild explorer? Who? Ponce de Leon? You know, looking for new lands. Unbelievable.
Oh, I'll never forget. You just dived into the car and left us all.
I don't know what's funnier, your story or Fred hitting the music every time Gary opens his mouth.
It's starting to get a little unfunny, don't you think? Which means it must be getting very fun at everyone else.
Yeah.
Freddie, come on.
I don't know, man. That was just like you brought back a really bad memory. I said, I'll go to the company picnic, so I'm a company man. Oh, was that scary?
I have pictures of you, though. You played volleyball that day.
Oh, yeah.
I have a great picture of you spiking the ball.
Yeah.
And you seemed to have a good time, except when you had to walk more than 10 feet away from everyone else.
Yeah, man. It was frightening. I wanted to hang out with my kid and walk around and everything. I was really afraid that, they would, take her and boil her.
How could you have a good picnic next to the Cross Bronx Expressway?
Yeah, that was a really nice location. God forbid we should have something convenient to where people really live.
I'm surprised we even found the place.
I'll tell you, though, all the people in the park loved that park. They were perfectly happy. We were miserable.
Yeah, they were having a field.
We were like, oh, man.
But when you said you ran to the car and you were escorted in and your wife had to take care of the luggage,
that goes on all the time.
Reminded me of.
Yeah.
Pete Sampras plays today. Andre Agassi, John McEnroe, Martina Navratilova, Gabriella Sabatini, and Jennifer Capriati. So it should be a good day today.
You think I'm bad? You see John McEnroe. He hides himself everywhere.
Really?
Yeah. Forget it. You should have seen him. I met him sort. I didn't even meet him really. I met his wife Tatum. Like they were ushering him around. Like you couldn't.
And she was just hanging out.
Yeah, oh yeah, she was just hanging out. She didn't care. She's really cute, man. I could see why he married her. She's way too good for him. Man.
Well, they seem to be happy. It's lasted a while.
Yeah, she's a little minx.